Hey, how's everybody doing out there today? Welcome to another edition of Storytime with yours truly. Please forgive me for my partially made bed back there. I didn't sleep too well last night and I didn't feel like making it up this morning. But today we're going to talk about a saying that you've probably heard from your mother or maybe even grandparents. The saying goes that money doesn't grow on trees. Okay? Now, they most likely said that to you when you were being wasteful or you wanted something that you couldn't afford. So let's get into the story first. There was this kid named Bobby, and one summer Bobby goes over his cousin's house, Terry, and he's over there during the summer. They're in their house playing video games, and Terry's mother says, "Y'all go outside and play." So they go outside to the backyard and play, and lo and behold, Bobby is awestruck because there's an apple tree in the middle of Terry's backyard. Um, Bobby's looking up at the tree like, wow, look at all these apples. And he decides that he wants an apple. So Bobby is looking up at this tree, trying to figure out how he can get an apple. He can't reach him. So what does he do? He runs into Terry's house, go gets a chair. The chair wasn't high enough. And then he runs back in there and gets a ladder, props the ladder on the trunk of the tree, climbs the ladder, and he's within reach of the low-hanging fruit. And he picks a few apples. But he wants more. So what does he do then? He takes the ladder back in the house and he comes back with a long stick. And now he's hitting the branches and apples are falling from the tree and he's catching them. So anyway, that story is going to be a little bit what we're going to talk about today, about how money does grow on trees. You're asking yourself, how is that so? All right, let's look at this. The Bureau of Engraving and Printing, they print approximately $38 million a day with a worth about $440 million. So they print 38 million notes, and these notes are worth $540. Now, 95% of that money that they print is to replace the old money. Okay. But 5% of the money that they print is new money in circulation into the economy. So, think about that. 5% each year of new money in circulation. That adds up. So there's plenty of money out there. The problem is access. You can't access the money. You can't reach the money. All right. So we're going to talk about how you can reach that money. But firstly, I want to prove to you a little more about how there is so much money out there. We're just going to talk about America. We're not going to talk about the world. How there's so much money out there. Let's look at this. Let's look at some of the salaries of some CEOs. Leslie Moonves of CBS, she makes about 2012, she made $69 million. Jeff Berkes of Time Warner made $32 million. Stephen Koffer of TripAdvisor, $1.2 million. Okay, and those are CEOs of businesses, of companies. That's a lot of money. I'm not here to talk about whether it's right or wrong they make this money. I'm not here to talk about that. Okay, we're just going to talk about how much money is out there. All right. Look at your nonprofit CEOs. Jim Gibbons of Goodwill makes $729,000 a year. This is Goodwill. You know, the place where you don't shop, where people go and they bring their old clothes or old shoes. This guy makes $729,000 a year. Okay, that's his salary. Marsha Evans of the Red Cross, $651,000. The Red Cross. And lastly, let's look at Jeff Seffrin, CEO of the American Cancer Society, $2.1 million. So CEOs, nonprofits, and even, guess what? Your preachers are making money. Kenneth Copeland, net worth of $760 million. Joel Osteen, net worth of $400 million. Creflo Dollar, $27 million. So take this in perspective. You're Bobby and you're looking at this tree and there's apples everywhere. There's plenty of apples, okay? And for each of those apples, let's replace it with a $5 bill. Maybe a $20 bill. No. Let's replace each apple with a $100 bill, okay? And they say money doesn't grow on trees. Well, I just read to you that there's plenty of money out there. All right. Now, let's look at some of the other ways money is out there. In 2012, the United States government's budget for foreign aid, in other words, what they spend out to other countries to help them out, $23 billion. And that's only 7% of the government's budget. Okay, and I don't know how much money that the government gives freely out to grants and programs, but it's got to be within the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Okay, so there's money out there. Let's look at this. We talked about the CEOs, how much money they make. We talked about nonprofits, CEOs and nonprofits. We talked about preachers, how much they make. Your average preacher makes $40,000 a year. So there's money out there. There's plenty of money out there. Just like this tree, there's plenty of apples hanging on it. But access, that's the problem. How do we get that? Bobby went into the house and got a chair, then a ladder, then a stick. What can you do to access this money? Well, ways to reach this money: education. That's the traditional way. You know, you heard your grandparents and your parents, when you get out of high school, make sure you go to college. You can get a good job. Okay, education. Nothing wrong with that. That's one way you can reach those apples. Increasing your education, which increases your value. 2, get more than one job. Now, wait a minute. Before you start tripping and talking about you don't even want to work one job. Listen. At the beginning of this country, a lot of immigrants came to this country and worked their butts off, more than one job to get where they needed to be. You may have to do that sometimes in your life. Okay, residual income, creating residual income. What is that? Write a book, put out a record, something that's going to make you money even while you sleep. Whatever that could be. It could be anything from writing a book to putting out a one-hit wonder record, whatever. Think of ideas, something that's going to make you money while you're asleep. Look at this one. I know this is going to be a hard pill to swallow, but you may have to do this in order to reach those apples, which are in abundance for you to pick. Get out of debt. Begin to eliminate your debt. And when you start eliminate the money you owe and your debt out there, that increases your income. All right, let's look at this one. Entrepreneurship. Bill Gates, entrepreneur. Everybody knows his story. Everybody knows the stories of all these Fortune 500 companies. Most likely they were started by entrepreneurs. A lawn business, entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship is one quick fire away that you can get a lot of apples. And another way that a lot of people don't think about is commission. Sales. I used to sell cars when I was younger. And I made a lot of money selling cars. Get into a sales business. The commission is great in a lot of these businesses. That's another way you can get access to those apples. So, rundown. Let's run this down again. The saying is, money doesn't grow on trees. But I'm telling you, it does. Your problem is access. You don't have access to it. I ran you down a few ideas to get access to these apples. Now it's up to you to get off your butt and go get those apples. See you guys later.